Man, I have more than one idea. And yes, they fit together. So you might see some logical similarities between the way they're reasoned out. But that doesn't make them the same idea, and you confound them in order to avoid dealing with the situation as presented. I'm not saying it's conscious, but I'm saying the result is you avoid dealing with the situation as presented. The distinction is that the Social Security commissary would provide steady pricing, subsidized if necessary. Okay, my belief that I should be able to buy Skillcraft products is not to be guaranteed at a fixed price. It's to be given at the cost, including the labor cost. Okay, so see, that's very distinct. Now, in the first case, we're already giving them Social Security money that they're supposed to be able to buy all these basic goods they need. If there is a basic commodity that they need, the price of which is skyrocketing, our only mechanism is to give them more money. But if we had this commissary, we could also attack the price that way, right? If you just give people more money, they might not even be spending the extra money on that product. But if you have a commissary where you subsidize the price of that product, you're still providing the product to the same person, but you have more fine-tuned control of the situation. You can use the, power of bulk purchasing. You can start manufacturing it yourself. There's a lot of things you can do. In the case of the social infrastructure, you could even do long-term things like invest in research in certain areas, right? Being able to buy the Skillcraft products is just a matter of there is no net profit for a company like that. The net profit of a company goes to the investors. Well, the U.S. government, as a representative of me, is that initial investor. So that's taken out of the situation. We can provide the products at cost, right? The idea that this is some sort of privilege that I should be willing to die for my country. Well, I'm willing, but I've not been in the military, and I do not think I should have to be in the military for something so glorious as buying a pen that's already manufactured. I'm not saying start manufacturing this for me. I'm a socialist. No, it's already being manufactured. I just want in on the market that is allowed to buy it. Why can't I not? I thought the market power is supposed to say, if there's this product here and I'm willing to pay the cost that it takes to produce it, why exactly can't I have it? Why do I have to be a war hero, and to do that? You want to confound these things together out of some sort of fear, perhaps, fine. But if you want to discuss the issues, then just discuss the issues. There's a commenter in your video. It's like, well, it just sounds like people whining. I want a pen. The point is that the pen is not important. Why are we wasting extra money printing big, packaging, colored packaging, and and all of this stuff just to give someone 3 pens at a time? Why? Where's the necessity? Fine, you think there's a necessity, then you can make a market. But why are you forcing me into that market that has to buy those pens with all that waste? I don't need my pens to change every year, right? And you act like I'm asking for some big privilege when I'm just saying, hey, I'm willing to pay what it costs. Let me have some of that. I will pay for it. You act like you are acting like I'm asking for a handout. I'm not asking for a handout. I'm willing to pay the price, all right? And the money I save because it's not going to some investors, well, that's my money I'm saving, because the money that would go to an investor goes to the government, my government, right? It's just more like a fear that this stuff would work too well, and it's like, oh, these giveaways. Hey, you guys on the conservative side are the ones that like to say my taxes are stolen from me. So I say if my taxes are taken to invest in this office supply system, and I need office supplies and school supplies, why can't I assert I still have some ownership in that whole thing? If IBM had developed a company like this to provide its office supplies, I'd have no say to say, well, I want in on that. But this isn't IBM. This is the U.S. government. Okay, this is my organization that I have 1/300,000,000th of a share in. And if I'm willing to pay for these office supplies what they cost, why shouldn't I? It's not a subsidy. It's not subsidized. All right, they charge government contracts what it takes for them to provide it. The government doesn't give them any extra subsidy, like they charge a government office 50 cents and get another 50 cents from the Federal Reserve. No, from the Treasury. They're charging what those things cost to produce in real money. And you want to act like I got to be some sort of a war hero to deserve something as glorious as that. I didn't ask for a, a, a college tuition or a GI loan. This is the ability to pay for something already manufactured at a known cost. But anyway, yeah, try to keep the stuff separated out. If you just want to fall into some stereotypical reaction, fine. But it's like this is for retired people, and you once again talked about just like Hyphalydae, the incentivizing of retired people. Well, I think that we've tried your system of incentives and carrots and sticks, and it doesn't work as good as just looking at the mathematics of things. Like if there's myself and even just another 100,000, or even if it was just me, the government's already buying that stuff. It's already having it produced. If there was a public demand and they produced a little more, what exactly would the harm of that be? I'm running someone out of business that wants to make pens that are more expensive than the government can get from blind people. I'm sure plenty of you will like the extra super sparkly rubber grip or something that you can get off of the pens that would actually work better, right? It would set a baseline. Yeah, I love the way business interests traditionally in America is always like anti-government, can't do anything, but what they really don't want government to do is to reduce anything they have to compete with. And they'll say, oh, because subsidy, because it'll do this and because it'll do that. But even if they don't do any of those things, I mean, these GSA products can be purchased online now because there's so many different government organizations. So they're produced and bought, or rather bought online, right? And so if I just buy those online, it doesn't mean that they're going to subsidize the pen manufacturer. Make it illegal if that's your concern. But no, that's not what you say. Oh, well, let's do it, but make sure these issues are covered. No, you just don't like the idea that we would be building products that we need that satisfy basic needs. I didn't say they should do it for iPods or something. Yeah, it's pens. A lot of the answers to this kind of thing is like, oh, pens, why are you talking about pens? Why am I talking about pens? Because I'm forced to buy these bullshit pens. Wasteful pens that I don't particularly want when there's a pen I do want made. What's hard to understand about that? Why should I waste money that I don't need to spend? Why don't you trust the market force to see if the blind workers of Skillcraft can make products that I want? Why can't the commercial companies compete with that? That's the question. They could compete with it.